To access the CQC Toolkit from the screen, if you click on the icon in the top left hand corner, the purple CQC Toolkit icon, that will take you to the CQC Toolkit section. From here you have a home page that gives you some introduction and some guidance that may be useful. We've included a pre-inspection checklist to help you with any inspections that may be due, some information on how to access the toolkits and how to use certain sections, and some background information on the new inspection process from the CQC. To start using the toolkit, then you click on the Start button in the top left hand corner. This will take you to the first level of the CQC inspection process, which is the key questions. There are 5 key questions relating to safety, effectiveness, caring, responsiveness, and how well led the practice is. The display that you'll see has each of the 5 areas, and you'll also see it highlights the number of KLOEs, or key lines of inquiry, within each section, and the number of prompts within those KLOEs. You'll also see a green progress bar that will tell you how far you've got with your documents and how far you have in terms of the completion of the process. To enter any of these sections, you simply click on the button. That will take you to the key line of inquiry under each of those sections. So we have clicked the safety section, and you have 5 key lines of inquiry within that key question. Now, hovering over each of the buttons will tell you the full question that CQC require you to meet. So under the safety track record, the CQC description is what is the track record on safety. Lessons learned, improvements made, which is S2. Are lessons learned and improvements made when things go wrong? And the same with each of the other questions within that key line of inquiry. You'll also notice a number saying how many have been completed. So in this section we have 48 out of 87 documents completed, and you can see the progress, as I've said, with the green bar that tells you how far you've got. Clicking into that button there, so we'll go into safety track record. This will take you to the sections with all the documents relating to those prompts. So we have entered, and you can see in the top left, it gives you a breakdown of how far you've got and where we are now. So we have key question 1, is it safe? Key line of inquiry, what is the track record on safety? There are 3 prompts within this key line of inquiry, and prompt number 1 is, has the service demonstrated that it is safe over time? Now for each of these prompts, the documents that are listed will tell you what relate to the safety aspect. So we've gone through and selected the documents that you would require for each of these prompts, and you'll be able to go through and open these documents and create and amend the information that you require within each of these sections. You'll see a number of columns. You have the document title, which is obviously, as it says, the title of the document, the population group that each document can refer to, and if you need any more details on this, you can click the population group icon, and it's color coded, so it will tell you here we have those referring to the 6 groups: long-term conditions, mothers and babies and children, older people, poor mental health, vulnerable circumstances, and working age, and these are highlighted in these sections here. Anything where we feel it does not match those particular groups, then we have unhighlighted them and they will appear white. However, you do have the option to edit any of these functions by clicking the edit function. You can edit mode and change any of the points you see, or if you feel that you want to stick to the defaults, you can go to restore all defaults. Within the CQC sections, now that we're in the prompt section, you can see a list of documents that will help you to achieve the requirements of the CQC inspection and the process and the prompt in particular. So we're looking at prompt S1-1, has the service demonstrated that it is safe over time? We've provided a list of documents here that will help you to achieve or are relevant to each of the prompts or the requirements of the prompts. The new CQC inspection process from 2014 also indicates that it should be relevant to the population groups within your practice area. So in this next column you can see the population groups, and we've indicated which ones these documents will refer to. If you want a list of the population groups, you can click on the population group icon, and there will be a list there of the 6 groups. So we have groups with long-term conditions, mothers, babies and children, the older people, people suffering from poor mental health, people within vulnerable circumstances, and people within working age. If you want to edit any of these options, you have the choice on this button here to edit, and by simply selecting edit mode you can choose the population groups that you feel this document is relevant to. So you can simply click or unclick each of those options to highlight or unhighlight the section, and hovering over will tell you which group it is applicable to. If you want to go back and select all, you have the select all option there, or to go back to the default settings that IQ have set, simply click Restore Default. To access the documents, you can click on the document list. Now you have an option here of clicking the document in use, which is a document that you can amend and make changes to. The IQ default document, which is a read-only document with all the information contained in it. If the document's been published, you can look at the published version, and also an implementation record for that particular document. The next column will tell you who is responsible for that document. So that will include things like the person who is responsible for updating the document, or the person who's written that document. And if you need to change that at any time, you can click the drop down and choose the names you want to add. The next is the document status. So there are 3 document status: and not started, working on, or completed. You have an option to add any comments in the next column, and the final 3 columns are about the implementation of that document. So has the document been implemented within your practice? Implementation can simply mean that you have completed the document, you have distributed it to your staff, and your staff have read and understood the information contained within the document. If this is the case, you can tick this box here, where it will turn blue. You can add the date when this document was implemented, and then the final date will be the date that you will need to review the document again. There's also an option to look at the supporting documents within each of the CQC ranges, and these again meet the requirements of what the CQC inspection have termed as outstanding, good, a practice that requires improvement, or a practice that is inadequate. So clicking each of these options will allow you to look at the documentation, and you can see it downloading at the moment here in the top left and the bottom left, sorry. That will open a Word document with the information relevant to that particular criteria. So the characteristics of outstanding at the key question level. It gives you a definition of what the key question is and what it means. And it will also give you a definition of what outstanding should look like for each practice. So to be rated outstanding in safety, in addition to meeting the characteristics of good, and it will list the CQC based criteria in that document. When you finish reading it, simply close the document down and you'll be returned to this